Hi everyone, Erika Stanish here. Merry Christmas. I have a very special story airing tonight about a family of four that was involved in a plane crash 50 years ago. And there's some lingering questions. We couldn't fit all of the information into the piece, so that's why I'm here to kind of talk you through how they're doing now and the injuries that they sustained that night. So this family on board was Willis Voshell. He was the pilot with his two daughters, Jerry and Velvet, and Jerry's boyfriend at the time, Warren Spiker. So they were all coming from Delaware, heading to Connellsville. They had met family, and fast forward a little bit, they had got back into the plane to head home. And that's whenever they got into this crash. It happened at the Donaldson Crossroads. And a lot of people are wondering, what injuries were sustained. So Willis and Warren both had head injuries. They did survive, as well as Jerry and Velvet. Jerry did have a broken back, and Velvet had a bloody nose, and she owes that to her sister. She says that whenever all of this was happening and they said, brace yourselves, Jerry had put her sister's head into her lap to protect her. And luckily though, Jerry says that she had no damage to her spinal cord, and to this day she just has a lump on her back, but other than that, she's doing just fine. So they were all fine after that crash happened. Now for Willis, the family tells me that he did pass away in 2001 after complications with a stroke. Now, in the meantime, we have Officer Scott Patton. He was the part-time officer from Peters Township, the only one working on this Christmas night in 1971. He responded to their Mayday calls, and he said, this accident, this crash changed his life. And he actually tracked the family down over the summer, sent them all letters saying, hey, you don't know who I am, but you do know who I am, and let me tell you why. And ultimately, he got the family to join him where that crash happened again at the Donaldson Crossroads, where they were able to meet again for the first time in person in 50 years. So Jerry and Warren live in Texas now, so they flew in a couple of months ago, and Velvet came with her husband where she lives in Delaware. And we were able to be there and catch the moment when they were all meeting for the first time again, and to talk about how this crash changed and just impacted their lives. And it was just really a very special moment, and to hear them all talk about that day and what they remember. One thing that Jerry and Velvet say they remember is they were waiting for the ambulance. That two ladies came over in their bathrobes. Again, it was Christmas night, and they came to check on them while the ambulance was on its way. And they call them their little angels, and they don't know where they went. So if you're out there watching this, maybe it's you. In the meantime though, Warren, as I mentioned, and Jerry are married now. They have 2 children, 6 grandchildren. Velvet also married. She has 5 children and 7 grandchildren. And that's something at the very end of this story that Officer Patton had mentioned, that this is why you survive, to see this family grow and have all of these kids and grandkids, and it's just truly a Christmas miracle. So there's some of the questions that I wasn't able to answer during this story. It will air a couple of more times tonight in case you miss it. And if anybody has any other questions out there that you'd like to ask, please send me a message on Facebook. Again, Erika Stanish here with KDKA. But I do believe I went through all the little details that I couldn't squeeze in there. So if you missed it, it's on the web. It will also air tonight, and I hope you'll watch. Merry Christmas.